Hey everybody, and welcome back to From Guiseley to Greatness with me, GW365. You joined us last time, we won promotion, and we actually got out of the Vanarama Conference North at the second time of asking. We needed to win, otherwise we're going to end up probably getting sacked. By we, I mean me. So, what has happened since the end of the last season? Well, we've played some friendlies, we've made some transfers, we've let some people go. Let's get into it, shall we? We'll just have a look and see. So, if I can go into our transfers first, go into transfer history, you can see there's quite a lot of activity here. Now, I managed to keep quite a few of the players. I decided to keep quite a few of the players because we got given, in fact, let me go to the board first, an extra $2,000 or so in the wage budget. As you can see, we're still £500 under, £500 or so under. So I've even got an under-21s manager as well, which my under-21s manager is pretty damn good, and he's going to assist us greatly in our tactical needs in terms of what players to close down. There's actual amount of budget we have left, £464. So if we're going to transfer history, we'll start with the outs. So Ryan Noble, he didn't really do anything to us at the back end of the season, and despite having some decent stats in key areas, finishing in particular, pace and acceleration, that should be all you need. He scored a measly 2 goals in 16 appearances, which is not the best. And if you look at him here, he's actually injured for 2 months anyway, so it looks like it was a good job I got rid of him. Penalty taking was pretty good as well. But he ended up at AFC Telford in the division below, I believe. And yeah, he's on £500 a week now, so he's actually got a pay increase for going there. Sean Mullen has gone to Marine, and he's on £180 a week, so he'll be happy with his increase in wage. But again, he had 27 appearances at Belper and scored 7 goals and got 3 assists. Not good enough for this level, in my opinion. Dave Wesley, I let him go out on loan. He had a lot of injuries last season, but still managed 23 appearances for Marine and got a goal and assist and a player of the match with an average rating which is pretty good at 6.98. He doesn't look a bad player, but if I look at the reports, the maximum potential is probably going to be the good Sky Bet League 2 player. But if I switch, I can't actually, because that's based on Carruthers, which is not the best. And he's actually improved. He was on 3 and 6, and he's now on 5 and 8 for his respective attributes important to scouts. I can feel a sneeze coming on. Josh Snowden recently started complaining about lack of first team football. This sneeze is coming. I apologise for that. But as you can see here, he's never really going to get a game. Decent physical attributes, a couple of decent mentals like concentration, decisions, but his bravery is crap, his anticipation is equally as crap. Well, it's actually less, even worse. And to be fair, his stats like for just a fullback, he's not going to be bombarding down the right hand side, dribbling of 1 and crossing of 3 and delivering for us, basically. So that was the outs. And now, if we go to this side, we've got quite a few loans. I'll start off with the Leeds ones that basically cost us nothing. Tyler Denton can play in 2 positions, midfield, centre and left back. You look at these stats here, at first you think, well, yeah, that actually looks half decent. But, the fact that he plays left back as well as in the middle is pretty sweet. And, he's got decent vision and passing in particular. Work rate and determination are quite good for this level. Decisions is also very good as well. The one thing probably lacks is a bit of anticipation and composure. He doesn't really need to focus too much at anywhere else. Maybe positioning stat. His heading is only 1, so when he's at left back, he's going to be a bit terrible. But it's good that he can actually play there. He's not very good at jumping either, so he's not going to be like this strong, central midfielder that's going to win everything in the air. But as you can see, he's got a lot of room for improvement. If I go to his reports. His potential to be a leading Sky Bet League 1 central midfielder, so that is pretty good. He's fairly susceptible to injuries, and he enjoys playing in big matches, but I don't think we'll have many big matches, but we'll see. Then we'll move on to Jack Van, with his shiny face, it seems. I always kept an eye on this guy, because I remember when we played the last Football Manager, 2014, he appeared then, as a 16-year-old whose strength was left a lot to be desired. Is that right? Yeah. I think his strength was something like 3 or 4 or something like that. As you can see, they've actually increased it. Well, either that or he's increased it himself to 10. And like these physicals aren't bad. And also his position is good. Decisions are good. Concentration is good. Bravery not so well. Bravery is decent, and so is anticipation. So it's all round defensive game. It's pretty sweet, combined with marking, heading, and tackling of 12, and passing of 12, which is pretty good for a centre back. Although it has gone down a little bit, it was on 13. But he's going to be pretty damn good. He's a good player for this league at what we're striving for, which is top half finish. That's what I've decided to go for when given the option. Give us a bit more wages. But yeah, his potential is to be a good Championship central defender. It's one of the reasons where I thought, yeah, I'll snap your hand off, because I had the choice of him or someone else, and the someone else, can't remember who it was not very good. Jordan Gibbons, I got on loan from Accrington as a right midfielder who can kind of play it right back if needs be. So if you're looking here, decent stats, got teamwork 15, work rate 13. I mean, leadership is 13. That's pretty good. Composure is 11. Bravery lets him down a little bit with 1. First touch is pretty good for 12. But I was looking at these as well, crossing and dribbling. Finishing could be better, but we'll have to wait and see. If I look at the reports, it's potential to be a leading Vanarama Conference right midfielder. I got him because we were lacking a little bit at the time. So yeah, looking at this now, you've got Jordan Gibbons. I've kept John Wallace on for another year. I think he took a bit of a wage cut. And James Lorry is not going to be really that good for us this season, unfortunately. But I kept him just as backup because he covers quite a lot of positions. So if I go on to Danny Andrew, we signed him permanently. He's only classed as a good player now. Well, it says quality player, but he is not. It's still. I still think he's going to be decent. If I go to his reports, he's a good player for Vanarama Conference size, which is a bare minimum really you need at this level. You need good. You don't want fairly good or less if you can help it. You could probably scrape by with fairly good, but usually you're looking to try and get as good players as you can. So then we move on to a youngster here I signed from Stoke, which I don't know why I clicked on Stoke. Kieran, I think it's meant to be, Hamilton. And he's got some decent stats. He's only 1.5 star. He's got some decent potential. His potential would be leading him to, we've no idea because it won't tell us, but I'm pretty sure it's a decent League 2 player, which is one of the reasons why I signed him. Plus he's only on £75 a week, so that's pretty good. As you can see, he's got some decent physical stats in terms of pace. Some mentals, his mentals are pretty good, apart from these two in particular here and that one, but really, he's not that bad. And he plays on the left, but he can do a job on the right, which is another reason why I signed him. He's probably not going to feature that much, and I may send him out on loan. We'll have to see, but see what happens in the league, because we have still got quite a few players. Then, a couple of decent players we've signed here. Kashim Walton. Yet to score, actually, in the... did he score? He didn't even score once in any of his sub-appearances off the bench. He's probably going to be back up, but I got him basically as a... I've got to look at this. As a poacher, I mean, it says a defensive forward, but if you look at these stats here, 12, 10, 8, 8, which is pretty much bare minimum, 9, 10, 8, 9. I didn't think that was bad. However, then the next player I got was... I should be saying where I signed all these guys from. Well, you know Accrington there, and Fleetwood, Danny Andrew. Kieran Hamilton is obviously a Stoke. He got released from Stoke. This is what I need to do, is just go into here. He was released after playing, not playing really, but being on the books at Nottingham Forest. And then we've got Reece Turner, who has been immense for us in the in most of the friendlies. 7 goals and 7 appearances, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches, average rating of 7.57. Yes, I know, it's only friendlies, but if you look at him here, he's a poacher, and everything is 10 or above, which is pretty damn sweet. And his reports say he's only 2 star at the minute, but he's got 4.5 star. It doesn't say what his thing is, but I'm pretty sure it said lead in League 1. Kashim Walton didn't really look at him. He's got some decent potential as well. 2.5 star now, potential to be 4 star. Current ability, good player for Vanarama Conference. That's good. So then we move on to Charlie Scott, who's a defender who I signed as like another potential you know, I'm pretty sure it said championship, decent championship player, something like that. But I got him basically with the future in mind because he's like 18. Oh, wrong player. He's 18 years old. It's relatively cheap at £200 a week, which I forgot to point out how much the others are. Kashimoto's on £425, and Reece Turner is on less, £275. That's a bargain. But yeah, then we've got Charlie Scott. He was released from Manchester United, which we'll be getting O'Connell. Is it? I can't remember his name now. Our main centre back. I'll come to him shortly. He was from Man United as well, so hopefully they can create some sort of partnership. Charlie Scott was released. Oh yeah, we've already done Charlie Scott. Reece Turner was released by Oldham after starting out at Stockport and actually played some games for Stockport in the Vanarama North and got 6 goals. Since then, he's played literally a handful of games and not really done much. Then we got from Blackburn on loan Ryan Niamba, who's going to play right back for us. We did get Aidan McGowan again, by the way, on loan. But he's probably going to be having a place on the bench because of this guy, who looks like a tank. I mean, look at these physicals here. Pretty quick. His mental stats are crazy. You know, work rate, teamwork, determination, bravery, aggression. Maybe landed him in trouble. Anticipation could be better. Decisions could be better. But basically, you've got to be pretty happy with that. And because he's at right back, I don't feel as bad about him only having 9 for heading and marking and tackling 11. These stats could be better, but at the end of the day, he is only on loan. But he's only 18 as well. And if you look at his reports, potential to be a good future, potential to be a good Sky Bet League 2 right back in the future. But he's not the answer. But he will do. I'm confident he will do a job. And Luke Thomas, we move on to him. Luke Thomas was signed after being released by Nottingham Forest again. That's another player from Nottingham Forest. And as you can see here, midfielder left. He's on loan. Sorry, he's not been released. But look at these stats, man. For a left midfielder, he's 3.5 star. Pace is pretty nimble. He's not the quickest off the mark, but his overall pace is pretty good. And then if you look over here, all his stats, apart from finishing, are pretty decent. I mean, long shots isn't the greatest, but I'm thinking more getting the crosses in. Off the ball is 11 as well. He's pretty good. And he's only 19 as well, and he's got the potential to become... I could have sworn that said that Championship when I signed them, but never mind. Then we've got Sam Johnson. Signed him as a backup goalkeeper. He's on £300 a week after being released by Port Vale. But, you know, he's a decent backup. He's not terrible. In fact, he's got more potential than Lynch, and he will probably soon surpass him in terms of... Because Lynch is only 3 star, and his potential ability is 4 star. However, Lynch, we're going to stay loyal to Lynch for the time being. And, yeah, I said Port Vale, didn't I? Yeah. Then we move on to Marcus Wood, who looks to be quite the acquisition. We signed him after he got released from Man City, which is pretty good. But look at that passing and vision. He's not the best. Like, his bravery is pretty terrible, and his composure is, as well as concentration. But he's going to be a good deep line playmaker, and that's where he's going to play for us. If you look at the reports, it doesn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure again it says Championship player. He's only 18 years old. He's only on £375 a week for 2 years. Is it 2 years or a year? It might even just be a year contract. We're in 2016 yet. 2 years. We've got him for 2 years at the bare minimum, and he looks like he's going to be pretty good. I mean, his physicals are pretty good as well. Some decent mentals, but not all of them. But his decision making, I'm thinking for the passes, is pretty good. But the composure, meaning if he gets closed down, he might struggle. But yeah, he's just going to try and dictate the play, I think, for us. He's 3 star to start off with. But he's got some really good potential. And then finally, we've got Andy Nugent, who is a left back, who is probably going to be playing ahead of Danny Andrew, which is a shame because I signed him basically because of how well he's played for us. But if you look at this player here, it's going to be hard to leave him out. His pace is pretty good. His mentals are brilliant for this level anyway. I mean, the only one that lets him down is vision and flair, which you don't really need as a fullback. His crossing could be better. That has to be said, which is probably the only thing that leans more in Andrew's favour. His tea's starting to go cold. But pretty solid defender nonetheless. And he is reported to be a good Sky Bet Championship left back in the future. And he is on loan, of course, from Burnley, as you probably saw already. Marcus would have said Man City, didn't I? So that's all the transfers. Basically, then we move on to our schedule. And as you can see, there's a lot of green. Started off, obviously, I'm not going to go into too much depth here. 4-1 win with against our reserves, if you like. Ossett Town, we pumped 7-0. Farsley 4-0. Glass out. In fact, I'll just click on these so you can see the goal scorers. Archie Love with 2. He's going to be one of the key components this season. His Archie Love is brilliant. Tom Hetworth, who was one of the regen youngsters, getting 2 as well. And Ossett Town, Jonathan Marget's getting on the score sheet again. Tom Hetworth again. Jordan Gibbons, Alex Johnson got a hat trick. Yeah, an hat trick. And Isaac Nelson popping up with 1. Then we move on to Farsley. And we beat them 4-0. 4 different goal scorers, you might see there. Tyler Denton getting on the score sheet there. Alex Johnson still kicking about. He's definitely purely going to be back up. Reece Turner, this is his first game. Gets 2 goals, should I say, against Glasshoughton. St Helens was next. We beat them 2-0. And the scores were getting lower and lower and lower. I'm thinking, oh, God, what's going on here? And it was proven by Droylsden, who I believe they are... well, they are north. They used to be in the conference, but they are like the division below. And as you can see there, they went down to 10 men. We were 2-0 up, and yet we still managed to draw 2-2. 2 set pieces. Pretty disappointing. Stalybridge Celtic, we beat 3-0. Get back on track, if you like. And then we played AFC Blackpool, not the Blackpool. And we had 5 different scorers, including James Lowry with a penalty. Johnny Scholes, I think he scored an absolute wonderbolt. If that's even a word. Thunderbolt, Wonderbolt, same thing. And then we played Ossett Albion at the end. Team that used to be down the road from where I used to live. And we beat them 2-0. With 2 goals from Jonathan Margetts, who's consistently getting on the score sheet. And finally, build up to this next point, we played against Bradford, and it doesn't look like we're getting beaten, we just get a late consolation. But if I just quickly click on this, the stats. Last time we played them, they had about 18 chances to our 5. That shows the progress we're making, in my opinion. Yes, it's only a friendly, but last one was only a friendly, and we got absolutely destroyed. But now, look at this, we're making progress. We had more chances than a team 2 divisions above us, which is very promising. Very promising indeed. So moving on, we're going to the tactics screen, and this is probably how we're going to line up for the first game of the season. Basically, I'm just having a look. Jack Van, actually. Jack Van will probably play in place of Scott for the first game, because he's slightly better. Andy Nugent is on the bench, but he's not quite as fit as Danny Andrew for this game, so that's probably going to prove to be key as to why I'm not picking him. Archie Love is not actually playing at the minute, but I think he's been injured. All my centre midfielders got injured in the pre-season at some stage. We lost Andy Holdworth, we lost John Wallace, who has been playing in the middle for us, to be fair. Archie Love and Calvin Phillips, all of them were injured, and I literally had to play a couple of games at Billy Simpson in central midfield, which wasn't ideal. And we've actually got Grant Roberts here, who's actually out of contract, but he's still here. He's still taking his £190 a week, but it's a case of if I do need to sign someone else, I can always just let him go for nothing. That would give us another £190. So we need to actually select all our subs for this next game. Let's get rid of all these and start from scratch with regards the selection. The goalkeeper, probably it's still only 5 subs, so it's probably not worth me picking the goalkeeper again for this season, and I'm just going to quickly do this and make him available for 90 minutes. He has come as a backup, so he does know the score. So now we're going to go for Archie Love is definitely going to be there. He's probably going to play ahead of Tyler Denton, if I'm honest with you. Marcus Wood, 92%. I do want to start him, to be fair, because he's that good. I'm going to leave Archie. I really want to play Archie Love. He's only 2.5 star now, but his potential is 4 star, and you can see, look, his stats are pretty good. To be fair, he's not a bad player at all in the slightest. He is a deep line playmaker as well, so it's like I've got 2 really good deep line playmakers, but I'd been playing him as a box to box. Jack Compton is still here for another year. He's probably going to be on the bench. Nugent can be on the bench. Charlie Scott can be on the bench. And we need a striker on the bench. So it's either Kasheem Walton or Alex Johnson. I'm going to go for Kasheem Walton for the first game. Is that enough cover? We've got Charlie Scott. And see, Billy Simpson's not going to get many games, looking at this. He is only 2-star. He's still got some really good potential. Leading League 2 player. But at this moment in time, he's behind everyone else in the current ability stakes. Reece Turner, not looking like a top player, but I tell you what, he's performed really well, and I'm going to stick with him. Margits has got quite a few goals. To say he's only 2.5-star player now, his potential is 3.5. If we're going to his attributes, he got 7 goals in 10 as well, which isn't bad, to be fair. And they're going to perform quite well for us. In fact, Turner, I had to look at him as a poacher, but look at him as a advanced forward as well. And he's got some decent stats, a couple of 7s in there, and a couple of 9s. But still, he's not doing bad. His acceleration will aid him. So, looking onto this, I think that's probably the best we're going to get. I've got a lot of players that are probably going to become unhappy, which is a shame. But needs must and that. I think that's the strongest team. We've got Namba right back. In fact, can we start this game? We can't. Yes, we can, because we've got. I'm thinking we've got 6 loanees. We've got 3 there, 2 there, and one on the subs bench. Plus, we've got 1 more over here. We'll go for that and see how we fare. We've got defensive midfielder. Can Charlie Scott play centre mid? He can't, but he can play right back. Then we've got Andy Nugent to bring on. We've got Jack Compton who can play left mid. Gibbons is probably the biggest worry, because he's not really that good. But I don't think there's anyone else. I've only got, if there's in a position I'm probably going to swap, it's probably going to be to try and strengthen. It's probably going to be the right side when the right player comes available. I think we'll go with that. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. So match preview. We're playing against Lincoln. If you click on Lincoln, it's going to be a fairly long episode because I've had to discuss everything. If you look here, their key player is Sean Newton, who they signed, who looks pretty good actually, from Stockport, and has been here since on this game. Some very impressive physicals, some not as impressive mentals, and very impressive technical as well. And as you can see, is a 4.5-star rating. And you know what? Let's have a look at the competition. Let's have a look at the above mid table is what we're looking for. But let's have a look at the. I want to look at the. Let's have a look. Competitions. Panorama Conference. I'll look at the season preview. So as you can see here, we are predicted to finish 16th. And we are playing Lincoln, who are predicted to place 10th, 40-1. So this should be an interesting test. They are predicted to finish slightly above us, and the league favourites are Gateshead, Cheltenham, Accrington, and Torquay. They're the top 4. They're ones that have played in the Football League most recently. So Bristol Rovers are another one as well as I think Wrexham. That might have been quite a while ago. But we'll just get into the game. We've got our team selected. Let's try it. Submit the team. Squad number will have to be given to Andy Nugent, who could be number 20. I always go back to the Leeds numbers. I don't know why. As in from the past, like when the likes of Ian Hart and Gary Kelly and all them lot were playing. Not that I've supported them since they were, Champions League. I've supported them since they were about 4, which would have been about 1988, 89, something like that. But mainly because of my dad. But anyway, other players they've got Burrow, Jordan Burrow. I've signed him in previous Football Managers. Not the best, but he's decent at heading. We have to be aware of his strength there. We've got Robinson on the right, who is not the quickest and is about on par with one of our players. Gibbons, I'd probably say. He's only 2-star. We've got Neil on the other side, who again, he's not the quickest, so I'm not too concerned about them. Ben Sharif, I'm pretty sure he used to play for. Oh no, it was Forest. Oh yeah, commanded a £50,000 fee at one point. He's a defender by trade, but he's playing in centre midfield today. And I think the only other players really of note, possibly Sam Togwell, is it? It is Sam Togwell. He used to play for... Oh, we're going to say Barnsley. He did play for Barnsley. Yeah, Barnsley and Scunthorpe. Another decent player. Some decent mentals in particular. And physicals aren't bad neither. And he's a good central midfielder that could play defensive midfielder. So let's get on to the opposition instructions. And this is our new guy, Anthony Tonkin. Look at his stats here. He's my under-21s manager. And his tactical knowledge is 13, which helps in this situation here. Defending and fitness and all the other good stuff, really, for training, helping us out massively. He was a player who recently retired, last playing for Weymouth, but his probably biggest claim to fame in terms of football was when he was at Crewe, and he commanded a £150,000 fee back in 2003-2004 season, the year that Leeds got relegated into that league, and ended up playing him that season. So he will have played against Leeds most likely, which doesn't mean anything to all you guys, but it does to me. So, he's saying to apply the weak foot to all the top 5 if you like. So, let's get into the game. Encourage. We are at home, so yeah, let's try and encourage. I'll just quickly, before going into the game, I'll show you our key man, I think, that made the turning point. Well, it proved to be the turning point for us, Ryan McConnell. Still looking good, still improving. 4-star player still, and it's still, he's now potentially to be a good Sky Bet League 1 central defender. It did say Championship at one point, but I'm still happy with that. He's still going to be a good player, and I think we'll just get into the game. He's going to be a top. He's going to have to be performing top of his game, I think, for us. So we get the game underway. Well, we don't. Lincoln do. Here comes Hodge, passing wide to Newton. Newton with a long ball over the top, headed away by McConnell. For once, he actually wins a header. Well, no, to be fair, he's not too bad. Farman takes the free kick deep inside his own half. Well, not deep, far forward, in fact. Here comes Thomas now. Thomas charging down this left-hand side. The new loan signing from Forest, I think it was. Now it's Miller to clear away. Ben Sharif finds Robinson. Robinson now, getting closed down. Finds Hodge in acres of space. And now it's Burrow. And it's found Ben Sharif in a more advanced position. Good tackle from Andrew. And Denton now can play a ball backwards to Thomas, who found himself in the left-back position all of a sudden. Now it's Wood now. The new creative midfielder. And there it is. You can see the creative force as Margaret hits the post. Great ball from Wood. And another ball towards Turner, but Turner was stood in an offside position. It wouldn't have counted had he won that ball and it got in. So an early chance there for Guiseley, proving that they can create chances. Wood looking to be the architect. Connor Robinson is injured, and they will bring on Arnold. Nathan Arnold Schwarzenegger. Idiot. And Guiseley moving up and down all the time because it's the first game of the season. Jack Van picks up a yellow card in his first game. Here comes... No, the goalkeeper is not coming anywhere. But Garlian's tackle to Margaret says through 1-on-1 with the keeper and scores! Big defensive error from Ben Sharif, I believe it was. Great determination there from Margaret. Oh, it was Gowling, sorry. Gowling gets tackled. In fact, Gowling, I want to check him out. Because I'm sure he's played for someone else. Josh Gowling, is it him? No, it's definitely not him because he's 32 years old. I thought it was a youngster. Actually, Leeds played against, it might have been Browning, it could have been, I don't know, yesterday against Everton. This is how far back you are, basically. It was only yesterday for me, but it'll probably about a couple of weeks, maybe a week or two after. So if Guiseley finds themselves 1-0 up, but now it's a dangerous chance with a throw. It's cleared away by McConnell, comes out to Arnold. And Togwell strikes it, but it's wide. So things are going well so far. Nyambi with the throw, finds Wood. Wood finds Nyambi back again. And Ardell clears away, and Burrow is on the chase. He's out wide on this left-hand side. He's got not many bodies taken for yet, but now they're starting to catch up. Neil is tackled by Nyambi, I think. It falls to Togwell. Ben Sharif back to Togwell, who strikes it at a distance, and it goes way over the bar for a goal kick. Jack Van has picked up a knock, which is one concern, because he does, pretty sure he did used to be injury prone, but I'm still going to take him. There's room for improvement. There always is room for improvement. People switching off is not good. But we're going to try and passionately turn them into greens, into vegetables, and it hasn't worked for Margits, but at least he's got a goal, that's the main thing. Now, I'm kind of glad I've brought Charlie Scott with us, so he can go and take that position, and I'm going to say, have faith. And everyone else switches off. Nice one. I do have faith. I've got to. He's picked up a knockers Jack van. Not of many chances, but as you can see here, we are actually, edging this game. Dare I say, dominating the game. Here comes a free kick though. Newton strikes it well, but it's again over the bar. We'll take those chances all day. A few fitness concerns, mainly Marcus Wood and Tyler Denton, but Tyler Denton's fitness, stamina's only 9, so he's probably not the best. I'm thinking who to take off. Who do I take off here? Marcus Wood has been playing quite well. He's set up that early chance for Margits to hit the post. I think Tyler Denton gets someone who's a little bit stronger in the middle of the park, and actually can play in box to box. But yeah, he's a lot stronger. He's better at heading. So yeah, let's go for that. Let's confirm and give it team talk. So guys, it's still 1-0 up. I apologise for the sniffling. Woke up like hay fever's just kicking my ass. So, Farman with the long goal kick forward. Headed away by Scott. Good introduction from him. Good tackle on Turner by Ordell. And now it's Wood. Now it's Thomas. Thomas gets away from his man like he wasn't even there. Crosses in towards the back post and Turner is beaten to it. Cross back in Margits. Great header. Great save. And Turner is there on his debut. Fantastic finish from a yard out. Not even that. But it's good anticipational instincts. Is that even a word? Anticipational. But great header from Margits. Onto the post from Farman. Couldn't get up quick enough. Bit of a mix-up with the two defenders, Gowling and Newton. And Turner was there just to turn it home. 2-0 Guiseley. $15 to go at Nethermore. There's about to be another change. And Kashim Walton is going to come on for Reece Turner. Yeah, Reece Turner. Yeah. Luke Thomas is going to be a very key player for us. I can tell you that now. Confirm and give a team talk. Let's just say there's no pressure on you because you are young. And it's your debut. So Thomas with the free kick strikes it well, but it's well over the bar as well. Got some decent power on it though. Arnold. Thomas swings it in. It's cleared away by Newton. Love heads it back into the mix. And now Margits is there with poacher instincts. I was going to say something else. Fox in the box instincts. But Andrew now can take the short corner to Thomas. Thomas can chip it over towards the back post. It's headed away. Comes out to Power, who powers it away. But you don't see that. Andrew now back to Lynch. Lynch with a rare touch. Forward it goes to McConnell. Back to Lynch again. Long kick downfield for Margits. Brings it down superbly on his chest. And then it knocks it back to Thomas. Thomas now gets away from Gowling. Swings a deep ball in for Walton! Great chance when it's basically his first touch, but the keeper was equal to it. Farman. And we're coming up to the end of the game, and this should be all she wrote for this game. It's a good, solid game, this. Good, solid win, should I say. Clean sheet. Here comes Margaret again. Walton's miles offside. Oh, what a ball that is to Gibbons. Gibbons now. Walton! Oh, he's missed a sitter on his debut. He could have had the dream start. Clear-cut opportunity. 5 in all, to be fair. Against a pretty strong Lincoln team. Some decent players. Especially the... I can't remember who he won now. That central midfielder, was it? That key player was very good. It was the left-back, that's why. Very good win, that. That was a fantastic performance. Well done, boys. Well done. Why does this always mess up? Is it because of the changes? Changes. Yeah, continue. So that's a very good start for us. I'm very impressed, and that leaves us in second place. It's early days, but I'm aiming to be there basically. But I've got the above mid-table just as a bit of insurance in case things go a bit pear-shaped. So hopefully, yeah, we can have a decent season. got Wrexham in 3 days. I'll have a look and see who we've got in the next big game. Leeds win in a friendly against Fenerbahce. Very good. Like Smoke got 5-year deal. They got promoted last season. Mika Richards obviously probably been a turning point. He had a poor start. His first 2 or 3 games they got beat, but then they powered to second place. And Mowat got a new contract at 18 grand a week. I'm pretty sure Cook did, and Byram. Which is very pleasing from my point of view. I like to see all the young players coming through at the same time. Jack Van damaged his elbow. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks. We should be okay with Billy Simpson and I've forgotten his name already. The new signing who came on then. But yeah, North Ferriby. I've got Wesley. He's did he play? One of the players we could. Yeah, they won 2-0 and he got a clean sheet. So that's very very promising to see. Very encouraging to see, I should say. So yeah, going into the schedule for the next game. Let's have a look. We've got Torquay coming up, but it's so soon after. I could go for it, because actually it's a week away. We've got a TV game against Wrexham, to be fair. I'll probably go for the Bristol Rovers game. Bristol Rovers, or Accrington. We've got Accrington there. Barrow, they're the team that beat us in the last season, forced us to go into the playoffs. Well, they didn't beat us. We finished 3rd, didn't we? There was someone else who beat us. I can't remember. We finished 2nd now. We beat them anyway. Well, we beat the team that beat them. Either or. White Hawk, right name for a team. Apologies if you are from White Hawk and that sounded offensive. It wasn't intended to be. So these are like a decent run of games. Really. You've got Torquay, you've got Accrington and Cheltenham in quite close proximity of each other. You know, and the Barrow game. That's a bit of a grudge match, if you like. We did beat them twice last season, so maybe not as much. I'm going to say Bristol Rovers first. Then I'll probably miss out Accrington and go straight for Cheltenham. What team that are favourites? Let's check this out. Give us a moment. Gateshead are the favourites. Cheltenham are second favourites. So yeah, I'll do that. We'll go for the next game to be. Where's schedule gone? There. We'll go for the Bristol Rovers game. We'll miss out Accrington. Go for Cheltenham. And then when have we got Gateshead? A while off. It's in November. And when do we have them again? Don't tell me it's that second to last game of the season. That could be key. Could be, but it's all early days at the minute, and no one really knows who's going to do well. But I'm definitely going to aim for Bristol Rovers the next game. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It's the start of a new season. A good solid win, 2-0 against Lincoln. I mean, that nil is the most impressive thing for me there. But yes, we've been creating chances galore in pre-season, yes, against poor sides such as these. But it was this game in particular when we got created like nearly twice as many opportunities as a League One side against a League One side. So that was very promising. We've got a decent squad, I feel, rather than just having a decent, like a very good first team 11 and then having some poor, like second choice players to backup players, if you like. I do actually feel that we've got a decent mix here. We've got some good backups that are not quite as bad as what they have been probably in the last 2 seasons. But hopefully you're going to join us for the Bristol Rovers game. And until then, I'll see you then. Bye bye.